Truly effective managers act more like the leader of a team than the boss of a department. In this episode, we'll discuss what it takes for the boss of a department to become the leader of an effective team and why it's important. Hi, I'm Rick Kendall.
And I'm Fred Ball.
Welcome to Management Mastery. The purpose of these podcasts is to share what each of us has learned about good and bad management in our combined over 40 years of experience, both as managers and executive coaches. During that time, we've coached managers at every level in companies from Fortune 100s to brand new startups in all major businesses, including nonprofits, government, and education. So whether you're just starting in your first management position or are an experienced manager looking to strengthen your management skills, we know our podcast will be valuable to you. In order to be considered the leader of a team and not just the boss of a department, you have to ask yourself, to what degree do I build an inclusive environment and actively involve my people in the decisions of that department? Satisfied employees feel that they're valued, contributing members of a team, not simply staff in a department. It's a critical role of the outstanding leader that they create and maintain this feeling among those reporting to them.
To achieve this, most of all, you need to create a safe place for the staff. What does that mean? It means a place where everyone feels valued and respected and that they belong. This means, for example, that all competitiveness is directed outside the team and never at other team members. It means there's a feeling that one member only does well when the whole team does well.
I'll tell you, Fred, that is so important. I think we've all worked in organizations where there was an internally directed competitive spirit, and people would hold back. They wouldn't share their ideas. They would, and the whole team suffered because one or two people had to be better than everybody else on the team.
No question. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes it's a couple of people in the sales department that get pretty competitive with one another.
Right.
In addition, it also means a place where everyone has a voice, where unpleasant facts can be discussed and leaders don't criticize those who bring up harsh realities. This is one of the ways that anyone who's working for a boss can tell whether the boss is in fact comfortable with themselves or not. It is the fact that they're open enough where someone can come up with another solution or disagree with them, and the boss can accept that.
Well, the other scenario there is where somebody makes a mistake, screws up, something goes badly wrong, and do you have a boss that says, all right, let's work together and figure out how to fix this? Or do you have a boss that's going to blame you, make your life miserable, and you just don't want to give them the bad news? It really makes a difference.
That's right. And the other thing is that it's also a place where everyone's opinion is treated with respect, even if it's not agreed with, where it's okay to disagree, but not okay to be disagreeable.
Oh, that's so true, too. And, it also means that the department is a place where it's okay to fail, but only if instructions were followed and an honest effort was made. I know when I first went to work for a company that was fairly new in its field, the senior management, the top management, really conveyed this idea that if you're not making mistakes, you're not learning anything. And it was all right to make a mistake as long as you learned from it and did better next time.
That's a great attitude.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I was with that company long enough to watch as that attitude, which I think is more typical in young companies than it is in old stayed companies, that attitude mitigated. Didn't go away entirely, but you could feel that there were certain departments and stuff where you didn't want to make a mistake, because then that was the bad thing. Yeah, and you want to create a place where mistakes are seen as opportunities to learn, as long as you're not repeating them.
Agreed.
Right.
As the leader of the team, you're the coach, and the success of the team is ultimately up to you. This means that you have to have a clear vision and strategy for the team, but a strategy that's also developed by the team as a whole. Of course, with input from your boss.
Right. And it also means that you set a clear direction for the team, that you ensure that there's team alignment, that everyone's pulling in the same direction, and that you've clearly defined goals, and that you coach any staff who aren't clear on their roles.
I have to tell you, that situation comes up again and again in my coaching, where the person that I'm coaching, is explaining to me how they have given clear directions to their team, and yet they were not understood. And so then we have to sit and say, look, if the directions were not clearly understood, then it's your problem. What happened was that you didn't make them clear enough in the beginning, and so now you've got to go back and you've got to redo it so that, in fact, people do understand it. But it's a very common thing that the boss says, this is very clear. It's very simple. You do this, and yet people don't get it.
No, I totally agree. And I used to say, I ran a in-house service department, where we provided a service to other departments, and I would not accept my people coming back and say, they just didn't understand. And how stupid could they be? And I said, no, if they don't understand, it's your fault.
That's right.
You really have to take that attitude, because it's too easy to say it's the other guy's fault.
Whenever possible, it means that you involve staff in decisions that impact the department. And when it's not possible, and there will be times when it's not possible, that you let your staff know why it isn't.
Yeah, and this all comes down to, as the coach, it means that you make every effort to be a good communicator by sharing information and encouraging your staff to share their views, especially those staff on the front lines and those who may not agree with you.
Yeah, and it means creating an inclusive environment where you constantly show that you care about people's success as well as their well-being. That means showing individuals that you support them, especially in time of need. And that's the other thing when in a coaching situation, when someone will say to me, look, I did such and such that really helped the person personally. I either sent them home or I did something else that helped them. And I say to them, they will never forget that.
Yeah. And it's, there's the other axiom that's sort of a corollary to that, which is, and it's a good boss that understands this, that if a staff person misses a family event or doesn't do something with the family because of work, I have found this over and over, both in my own life and with people I've worked with. You'll always remember what the family event that you didn't go to, and you'll never remember what the work thing was that caused you to miss it.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, you've got to, as the boss, as the coach, you've got to keep that in mind. And it means that you collaborate with your staff and solve problems together. And then give praise and encouragement for both individual as well as team successes. And the team leader accepts the best solution to a problem, regardless of where it comes from. And remember, as the coach, that you don't have to have every answer. The solution to the problem can and very often does come from your staff or your team.
So what we've been talking about is we've been saying that it's critical that you empower your team and the individuals on it. That means that you provide your staff with opportunities to learn and grow without micromanaging them. This will, from time to time, lead to mistakes. And as Rick said before, what you want to be able to do is to learn from those mistakes, so that you as the manager want to make sure that the mistakes that someone makes are small ones. You don't want to let someone make a mistake that would be, a major deterrent to success for the department. And finally, it's important that you be as clear and concise as possible on how results will be measured, so that everyone knows what is expected of them, and you follow up with however you're going to do checking the results. You do that, and you don't forget to do it, because people will immediately notice if you're not following up to check the results.
Oh yeah, they always notice that. Now, one of the clear benefits of being the leader of a team rather than just the boss of a department is that it puts you in the best position to hire, train, and possibly most important, retain smart professionals who will be deciding whether they want to remain with you or seek employment elsewhere. People want to belong to a team, and if they don't feel they're a valued member of the team, that can be a big motivation to look elsewhere.
No question. So candidates are looking for certain things. One is a chance to work for a great boss and senior management who care about them as individuals as well as members of the team.
Yeah, and I think I'd re-emphasize the fact that even if you're in a company where that atmosphere isn't as pervasive as you would like, as the head of a department and the coach of your team, you can still create a team environment, even if it's just within your department. So, it's up to you to make people feel the members of a team. And the best people want exciting, challenging work that they can feel passionate about, and they want a job that gives them a level of both autonomy and responsibility. And those are things you can control as the head of a department. And they also want to work with challenging colleagues who engage, stretch, and inspire them. Again, as the coach of the team, that's the kind of atmosphere you want to build in your department.
And that working with challenging, smart colleagues is one of the things that young people look the most for in their work, because when the challenge helps them as well to grow and develop new skills, and they both can learn from their colleagues and they can learn from the boss when the boss is providing them with coaching and mentoring.
I totally agree. We all want that, but I think the younger folks who are just starting out want it even more. It's more important to them. And perhaps most important, we all want to feel that we're an important part of something bigger than ourselves, that we're valuable and valued members of a team. And the manager who can make each member of their department feel as if they are important members of a team is an effective manager. In this episode, we've talked about the importance of creating a team spirit within a department, how such a team spirit can lead to higher productivity and lower staff turnover. And we've discussed what a manager needs to do to develop and maintain such a team spirit in their department. We hope you have found this podcast useful and will come back again for more Management Mastery. If you have any comments about this or any of our episodes, or would like to find out more about our other services, including one-on-one coaching and group seminars for managers, visit our website at careercoachclass.com. Thanks for listening.